Hello, I'm James Bartle.
And I'm Bill Little, and this is the Sullivan Independent News Weekly Recap.
Let's take a look at some of the stories that were going on in Sullivan this week.
All right, Jim, there were 5 flags stolen on Memorial Day, and one of them was burned along Springfield Road. Those flags belong to the American Legion.
That's right. And last Sunday afternoon on June 4th, the owner of Patriot Towing LLC of Washington and West Sullivan was fatally injured along with his wife after a motorcycle accident in Iron County. The accident was reported at 1:58 p.m. on Missouri Highway 32, 2 miles west of Bellevue.
That's a sad story. Last Friday, the Franklin County Sheriff's Office says that Kirby King has pleaded guilty to the death of Carla Delcourt. That was back in 1987. Now, thanks to the hard work of the cold case squad in Franklin County, the case began nearly 36 years ago, has finally been closed.
That is a blessing for the family.
It really is.
A Union teen was flown to the hospital after a late-night crash last Saturday on June the 3rd. The teen was traveling on Liberty School Road around 11:45 p.m. when he drove off the road in a 2004 Dodge Durango and struck a tree. He was airlifted to Mercy Hospital in St. Louis, where he was later pronounced dead from his injuries.
Shame. So many fatality accidents. And the Crawford County Sheriff's Office is asking for help in finding Sarah Johnson, who is 15 years old and was last seen in the early morning hours of Steelville, Missouri. It's believed that she is with Devin Flowers, who is 18 and also from Steelville. Now, Sarah was last seen wearing gray camo shorts, a black hoodie, and a backpack. She's 5'6" and 120 to 130 pounds, has half blonde and half brunette hair. She's also got a nose piercing and multiple ear piercings. Now, Devin, who she's with, is 6 foot, 150 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes. Please contact the number on the screen, 573-775-4911 for Crawford County Dispatch if you have any information, or contact your local law enforcement agency if you're not in the Crawford County area.
Did you know that Memorial Day weekend is marked the start of summer travel season in Missouri? MoDOT is advising travelers to be cautious and patient on Missouri roadways. From distracted driving, excessive speeds, not using a seatbelt, and more can accompany the increased summer traffic. Distracted driving alone has contributed to over 15,000 crashes last year. Be aware of traffic changes. It can slow or stop unexpectedly. In 2022, 15 people died in work zone crashes, and MoDOT protective vehicles were struck 36 times when protecting their crew. You can download the MoDOT app to see constant updates on road work and traffic.
Yeah, Jim, and just this Memorial Day, there were 10 people that died in traffic crashes over the weekend. In Missouri, there were 314 crashes and 130 DWIs, as well as 14 drug arrests. Now, for boating, there were 6 crashes, no drownings, thankfully, and 7 BWIs, or boating while intoxicated. Now, make sure that you call a taxi or have a ride if you're out celebrating or partying throughout the summer months. Speaking of which, At Your Service Shuttle and Taxi opens at the Chamber of Commerce, and they did a ribbon cutting for them recently.
Yeah, ribbon cutting just last week, I believe.
Yeah.
On some better news, congrats to Tom and Patty Gallagher, as they are the Sullivan June Garden of the Month, picked out by the Sullivan Garden Club. And talk about something that's interesting is that there was also bear sightings in Salem on May the 30th, and then there was a bear struck and killed on Interstate 55 in Festus on May 23rd. The Missouri Department of Conservation continues to encourage people to be alert as the bear's population is growing in Missouri, and they do tend to roam and look for food.
Yeah, they're out there, and definitely don't feed them if you
No.
run across bears. You don't want to encourage them. Governor Parson also signed an executive order, 23-05, declaring a drought alert here in Missouri. Now, we've had a big problem with this. If you also check on your phone's weather app, you can see that the air quality alerts issued by the National Weather Service out of St. Louis warning you about limiting your outside exposure and other precautions to pollution. as the Canadian wildfire smoke making the air quality here in Missouri quite bad. That's been hanging quite a bit of time here now.
Well, and all over the country, really, from the Midwest to the East Coast,
Oh,
it's
we all saw the
been
pictures out of New Jersey,
extensive.
New York.
Yeah,
It just looked like planet Mars.
correct. And take a look at some sports. The Sullivan Legion team, post 18, had 3 games this past week. They dropped 2, but they ended up with a big victory, 17-0 against Hannibal. And let's take a look at their upcoming schedule. Taking a look at upcoming events within our community. Of course, yesterday, Bill, was the grand reopening of 3 shops on Main Street in downtown Sullivan with 2 Shabby Chicks, Main Street Parlor and Pub, and the Secret Kitchen.
Yeah, their new location. This Saturday, Jim, the Bourbon Economic Development Group is going to be having a barbecue.
Yes.
A big barbecue festival, in fact, which is planning to have 8 teams within a 100-mile radius competing to win some money and cash prizes. More than 10 vendors will be set up there, so that's going to be a great
It's going to be a great time. I think that's all we got for upcoming events. Let's now check out our weather with Wyatt.
There he is.
Hello, I am Wyatt Hardy, your weather reporter. I will be covering your local weather in Sullivan, Missouri. Saturday has a high of 63 and will have a 58% chance of thunderstorms later into the evening. Sunday will be also cloudy with another possibility of storms coming around. Then on Monday it will be mostly sunny with the temps at 78 and a low of 54 with an 8% chance of rain. Tuesday is a mixed bag. It will be sunny, but also there will be a 48% chance of rain and thunderstorms late into the day. Then on Wednesday, there is a 28% chance of storms. It will be partly cloudy with a high of 87 and a low of 61 degrees. Thursday is another partly cloudy day with a high of 89 and a low of 63 degrees. Friday is supposed to be mostly sunny with a high of 92 and 65. But then there is a 52% chance of scattered storms with rain in the evening. This is Weather with Wyatt at the Sullivan Independent News. And stay tuned for our Sullivan Throwback.
Jim, let's take a look at the Sullivan Throwback.
So we're going to go back
in time. 60 years ago, the Sullivan, Missouri Baptist Hospital had its first set of twins.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I thought so.
In the archives, there is also an article named Colonel Sanders Gets the Bird.
Ooh, my goodness, who gave him that? Now, here's some quick math for you, Jim. 2 boys plus BB guns equals 29 car windows broken throughout town.
That was probably not a good time for them or their parents.
I wasn't there.
I wonder how much the damages cost.
Well, I bet these kids' parents know that answer all too well, or at least did at the time. They agreed to pay the cost of damages. Now, today, the average cost to repair a car window is between $100 and $400, depending on what car it is.
Woo! If we check out 1983, you can see in the archives that there was a lot of complaining about gas prices being 30 cents in the past. If only we could remember a time not so long ago that gas was 30 cents a gallon, or how about $1.39 a gallon?
I remember putting 25 cents in a moped and riding home most of the week.
Oof.
Back in the day. Jim, also in 1983, a lady by the name of Debbie Palmer had gone to the council meeting where 300 people had voted against allowing the drive-in to show X-rated films in the evenings, which was common back then.
I was only 13.
Well, I was too, and I think I was probably over on Mervyn Street at a buddy's house watching. No, their point was that the kids could see and hear the X-rated film as it was being broadcast at the theater. Now, Miss Palmer's argument was that, hey, we shouldn't take the opinions of a few and discount those who enjoy this and keep them from being able to partake, right? So she said, for an example, we keep dirty magazines under the bed and don't let the kids see those. So why can't parents control their kids in this effort and keep them from seeing these films and being offended by them? Obviously, I don't think her argument held much water with those at the council meeting.
Also in 83, there was a scam that occurred in Union and Washington areas where a mother and daughter were going around claiming to be selling Girl Scout raffle tickets.
Oh, that's why I never won. Ha!
Still hasn't been drawn.
This time in 1993 was Blueberry Month, and in April, the unemployment rate went down 6%. Good time back then.
Yeah. In 2003, a Bourbon woman was saved by her dog, Pugsley, by waking her up because of a fire in the house. She said if she didn't have her 3 dogs there, she may not have escaped in time.
That is a great story. Well, I think that's all we have for the throwbacks today.
I think that's it, my friend. Well, that looks like a wrap. I'm James Bartle.
And I'm Bill Little. And that is your recap, a weekly news recap from Sullivan Independent News.
So make sure you guys stay tuned to the Awesome Possum radio station streaming on
24/7.
iHeartRadio.
That's right. Or via our app or even off the website. We've got links on both the Independent News and the Missouri Possum Radio website.
There's also plenty of podcasts that you can check out on all your favorite podcast platforms.
Anywhere you download your podcast, just look for Bill and Jim Show podcast and catch archives of some of the big celebrity guests we've had on the show.
That's right. And then you can also read the weekly news by buying the Sullivan Independent News on newsstands now, as well as the New Haven Independent News, or go to mysullivannews.com. That's our website. Check it out. All kinds of great things on there, including Parade Magazine.
That's right. We'll see you next Friday.